So in whole brain functioning training, excellence is assumed as an innate quality. So meaning that everything that you do and you see, behaviour-wise, some degree of excellence is there. And that no matter what, some positive adaptive reason was the very first time someone took something on, whether it did have secondary negative consequence, some positive adaptive reason was in fact. So the purpose in life really is to be happy. And happiness is going to cause everything that you do to be more present. And so you're going to be more associated. You're going to be more present tense orientated. Happiness is the primary ingredient that causes integration. So you'll be integrated. And happiness is the cause of a continuity, which is the only continuity that we have as an emotion, as an energy in motion. And so our awareness is permanent, you see, because this self, which is as empty as space, is the only thing which is permanent and absolute. Everything else is transient in relation to yourself. So what's absolute is happiness, because this is you in an eye-aware state. And so this happiness and this eye-aware state is causative as a pattern for you to be more remained now in this unbroken state where you are practiced. And naturally, simply, it flows, you are integrated. Yeah. And you're more associated in life in how you show up and what you have an interest in, and all the channels that are existing there where you are congruent and in an unbroken meditation. So this is really about playfulness, because playfulness really is the single state that you have where you're bringing a sum, culmination of all the intrinsic strategy that you have, you see, and it's evident when we play. And so play experience really is the most flexible, and you look inside the brain, you're going to see the major activity is proprioceptive and tactile. And so movement that's going on in the brain as pattern motor movement is language, and energy and motion is pattern motor movement. And so movement is the broadest pathway for reprogramming the human brain. So if you provide a new movement experience in there, the mind can conceive new possibility. So the vestibular sense, which we're talking about in this work as you're going through these shows that you're watching, it's possible for you to become more aware of a sense which we have, which this work is about, which truly is a key, and this is the vestibular sense, because the vestibular sense connects all the other senses. When you turn the volume or the brightness, turn is a vestibular word. Sound and vision, it could be turned up and down a vestibular. The vestibular sense is your sense of body connection, and it was the first sense to form on Earth, of course. And it's got nerves that feed directly into a homonucleus connecting you to the external world, and in particular to the reticular activating system, which causes alertness to things. And so obviously, you know, our original condition here on Turtle Island, where anyone is, you could see people being smudged with water, and you could see water being broadcast off feather, which would be used to disperse fragrance and various fragrant smokes and things. And then the 4 primary herbs would be used, typically sage, cedar, sweetgrass, and tobacco. So you'd see the medicine person and you'd see the beloved sprinkle and pour and anoint, and sometimes you could use hot water and steam and things such, and you can have the smell of very beautiful fragrant black amber. So fragrance is bringing sweetness to everybody in a village, and it's doing it sort of out of consciousness. And super consciousness is your capacity, yours and my capacity, to be able to determine mood congruence. One has a structural knowing deeply more about this and how to use the submodalities of the vestibular sense in particular, and how open, still and transparent you are is really where your mind is more open to receive information coming in, so it couldn't have been occupied. So all the output and input channels sequentially that's going on for you is more simultaneous and in alignment, sequentially and simultaneously in alignment, and carrying relevant supportive messages. So such is you in this beautiful continued sense and of one representation, like vision. And in an integrated sense, you're going to go, you could be in vision, but you're going from one submodality in vision to another. And this describes a congruent state. So many today really can have only polarized, for instance, and that would have been a reversal in the step that was before it. And that could have been a preferred mode of sorting information. Otherwise, one can have had a meta response, which is about a response about the step beforehand, so that you're not exiting, and it's not a reversal either. So it's called meta responding. And so the other response is a polarized response, which is outright don't work, can't, should, must, try, but only, and words that are polarized as a response. Meta responding is a step about the step before. It's about a response about the step that's before this, and then it's really devoid of any continuation or reversal. So it's really not exiting, basically. So that you've got these choices. You've got a choice to be congruent. You've got a choice to meta respond and not exit, and you've got a choice to polarize. So these are the three choices really that exist. And so, this work really is about you becoming more integrated, congruent and associated, and having more super consciousness in yourself. Where you can have seen meta responses, it basically really occurs more from where some dissociation was or some incongruency was more generally. So fragmented states within more cause people not to be able to exit much, nor to be able to reverse whatever was or have any continuation. This beautiful I-aware state which you have as you can come to know what the structure of this is, which is empty spaces, 50% of yourself and 50% care as matter. And your purpose in life really is to live a longer life and to live life more abundantly, and can assist other people to live life more abundantly. And you can acquire knowledge of the vestibular senses. We've started to talk about this, which is your whole body movement, so in, forward, up, down. These are vestibular words. And direction is a submodality of the vestibular sense. Acceleration, deceleration, and time is a submodality of the vestibular sense. Okay? And spatial orientation and locus of control are also submodalities of the vestibular sense. So in this I-aware state that we've been talking about, you have a really more of a personal, private and subjective experience, and so you bring the full culmination of yourself. So it's not an experience where you're just going to go somewhere for a moment and get something, but really something ongoing more. And so the more that you live this way, of course, the longer that you live, the more youthful that you are, and you could reach a certain age of fitness and things and remain at this, most all the way through your life. And so having an inner peace and having inner quiet, of course, is really what our purpose is. So eye awareness really is you becoming more a living metaphor of this rainbow prophecy, which is about how it's possible for us to be using common law more, where all of us are living under the one roof again. And that in super consciousness, the essence of any form, of course, is of an action has a centric structure that's underneath. And love, for instance, occupies more cupping, cradling, holding, surrounding type of structured shape, and all indicate a more inward embrace. So eye awareness really has a syntax of happiness, and happiness is this cupping, holding, cradling shape evermore, and your true purpose really is in life to be more fulfilled. And like you're getting information right now in this show that's coming out of this little red book. So eye awareness really is your eternal and absolute self, which is as empty as space is and stellar as space, and this is I. And all the matter that's in this stellar universe is your body and parts of your body, which is something that can be transient in relation. But this happiness really is your true eternal self, and there isn't anything else that can be absorbing more, even like a supernova, than space that absorbs it perfectly. And so this happiness really is because you've got this empty center, and then you simply have care wrapped around this, that's all. And there's no other way that energy really is in motion eternally except for you being more in this original state of eye awareness. And movement processes by your body, so you could learn about analog sculpting and sculpting the body to access state-specific behavior. The body is the mind's experience of itself, and all movement really gives you a window into the deeper reflection that's going on more internally. So you can have shaped this kinesthetic portion more of experience and gained access to this state, and you're really radiating ever more and coming out of this happy face inside. And this is your real, true, unbounded self, like a shoreless ocean behind the back of your eyes. And if you can have done this right, then this lesson has been about you assuming excellence as an innate quality, meaning something you're born with, so you don't have to go anywhere to get this.